All right. Okay, so we have discussed biomechanics part. We have completed the biomechanics part in the last lecture. So now we are left with the clinical. You can say that what is the clinical significance, how we apply this biomechanics to treat conditions. So we are going to discuss those things as only over here. So these include biomechanic disorders, sorry, TMJ disorders or dysfunction we call it. Okay. So I'm going to start this one now. Okay, so first of all, we have discussed we have a TMJ joint dysfunction, which is commonly seen in people. Okay, so why it happens is it happens because of mechanical stress or direct trauma. You know, boxers when they play their game for TMJ joint dysfunction and dislocation is very common in those people. Okay, very common in those people because that is they are prone to continuous stress. Okay, so any direct injury, so boxing could be an example of direct trauma. Another is mechanical stress. Mechanical stress could be because of anything, could be because of your direct trauma or accident, anything like that. Okay, so years of poor posture and oral habits such as forward head posture or bruxism that is called grinding of teeth. You might have seen that some people they keep on scratching their teeth. That is commonly seen in case of schizophrenic patients. Okay, the patient who are anxious, the patient who are anxious, not only in schizophrenia, people who are very anxious, they have a habit of grinding their teeth. Okay, so in those cases, it is very common. All right, just a minute, somebody is texting. Okay, sorry. Okay, years of the so we have discussed this thing. So most common problems in TMJ joint dysfunctions, or you can say that what are TMJ disorders are. First is inflammatory condition. We will discuss about this thing. Then we have capsular fibrosis. Then we have osseous mobility conditions. Then we have articular disc displacement and degeneration. Okay. Then there are few people who want to join. ID wrong to है नहीं किसी कह रहे हैं wrong ID. Okay. So first of all, we will discuss about inflammatory conditions. Okay. First is capsulitis and synovitis. Okay. Capsulitis involve inflammation of the joint capsule, and synovitis is characterized by fluctuating swelling caused by effusion within the synovial membrane of the joint. So mainly, if you remember in the previous slide, we have discussed where the joint capsule is located. Okay, what happens is at the capsular level, if there is a inflammation or signs of swelling, we call it as patient is having inflammatory condition of capsulitis. So in physiotherapy, a lot of patient comes to us for capsulitis. We used to give shortwave diathermy in those cases. Even otitis media. Otitis media is an ear infection. Okay, so in that case also we apply because it is a chronic inflammation. So doctors first of all prescribe for a shortwave diathermy to those patients. Okay, so rheumatoid arthritis. Let's talk about rheumatoid arthritis now. It is the most common cause of inflammatory condition, but the gout, psoriatic arthritis. Some people are joining. Okay, so rheumatoid arthritis is the most commonly seen in this joint. Gout, psoriatic, and arthritic ankylosing spondylitis, systemic lupus erythematosus, and synovial chronic arthritis, calcium phosphorate dehydrate deposition may also contribute to inflammation of synovia. Okay, so what I am trying to say is what is called synovitis. When there is an inflammation of synovial membrane, so we call it as synovitis. Okay, just a minute. Somebody is having issue to join us. So mainly whatever conditions which I have discussed right now, in because of all these conditions also synovitis can take place. So you can see that now it is inflammatory condition doesn't happen directly. It can happen indirectly as well. Like there is arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout, psoriatic arthritis. Okay, SLE is a skin disease. Then we have if somebody is having juvenile chronic arthritis, it can result to that as well because all these conditions are you can say that they are involved in multiple joints. Okay, like SLE, psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, they have a involvement at the multiple joint at the same time. Okay, so individual with inflammatory condition may experience diminished mandibular depression as a result of pain and inflammation within the joint. So what is happening is when there will be the inflammation, the patient will not be able to open the mouth. Okay, so this is a commonly seen. Yeah, so we call it inflammatory condition. Okay, another condition is capsular fibrosis. Capsular fibrosis inflammation can lead to adhesions that restrict the movement of the disc and limit the friction on the TM joint. Capsular fibrosis in the TM joint complex may arise from unresolved chronic inflammation of the joint capsule, which result in overproduction of fibrous connective tissue. The resultant fibrosis cause progressive damage and loss of tissue. So what is happening is, similarly, as we discussed in the inflammatory condition, it is also an inflammatory condition. Only difference is there will be a fibrosis of a capsule as well. Fibrotic changes will be seen at the capsular level. So this is the only thing. So because of inflammation, there will be adhesions will develop, so which will cause restriction in movement, which will not allow the movement to take place. Okay, so as this is a chronic inflammation which leads to further ultimate fate is it leads to fibrosis, that is overproduction of fibrous connective tissue. All right. Okay. Coming to the next one, osseous mobility conditions. Osseous mobility disorders of the TM joint complex include hypermobility and dislocation. Hypermobility is a joint laxity, result of the laxity of the capsule, tendon, ligament. Individuals seen clinically for this condition typically report the jaw going out of the place, producing noise or catching when the mouth is in the fully open position. So what happens in this condition is patient comes to us in OPD as well with such cases. Patient will develop hypermobility. Hypermobility means there is a more of the movement. There is a movement is more than the normal one. Okay, which is causing what is causing is which is causing laxity of your tendon, ligament, and capsule, which is holding the joint in place. When this happens, there will be a dislocation. Okay, so physical examination of the patient with TM joint hypermobility reveals increased indentation and posterior to the lateral pole. Joint noces occur at the end of the mandibular depression and at the beginning of mandibular closing. Whenever patient opens and closes the mouth, there will be some kind of a noise which you can hear. If that is there, so you can judge that patient might be having osseous mobility condition. Okay, these noises may be heard by the patient, but are more often palpable by clinicians. So mainly, clinicians are going to observe this thing. Okay. So hypermobility of the TM joint result in deflection of mandibular towards the contralateral side with mouth opening. In addition, mandibular depression will exceed 40 mm. So what is happening is whenever patient is trying to open the mouth, it is seen that patient mouth may deviate to one side. That such kind of symptoms are also seen, and range of motion exceed beyond 40 mm. Clear up till this thing? So inflammatory condition is clear. And osseous mobility is clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'm moving ahead now. Okay. TMJ joint disorders. The most common condition affecting the temporomandibular joint is temporomandibular joint dysfunction. Okay. Or myofascial pain dysfunction syndrome, it is also called. So these things are very important from your Viva point of view, because examiner can ask these questions most often in this unit. So what are the symptoms? Symptom is pain, spasm, limited jaw opening, and joint sounds, so which we have discussed in the previous conditions as well. Symptoms will be similar. You need to understand how to differentiate inflammation from other things. Okay. So condyle displays anterior to the articular eminence. This is called TM joint dislocation. Clear? So whatever we have discussed before, like inflammatory condition and all osseous mobility conditions, they all come under TMJ joint disorders. Clear? Now I'm particularly talking about temporomandibular joint dislocation. So what is happening? What happens is your condyle is displaced anteriorly to the articular eminence in this case. So what are the causes is too wide mouth opening, missing teeth, trauma, anterior dislocation is more common. In some cases, in some people, it is very common problem. Okay, sometimes they woke up in the morning and they just try to do the brush, and after that they found that joint is dislocated. So this is a normal common problem in some patients. Okay. So many aspects of the history and physical examination of the individual with dislocation of TM joints are similar to those in the individual with hypermobility. As we have discussed hypermobility, because of hypermobility, TMJ joint dislocation was happening. So symptoms are going to be almost same. Clear? Whenever patient is opening mouth, he will hear some noise. Those symptoms will be present over here as well. However, with TM joint dislocation, full mouth opening result in deflection, lateral deviation of the jaw to contralateral side of the involved TM joint. So this is a very clear-cut clinical feature. Ask the patient to open the mouth, and when he will open the mouth, you will see that patient jaw is moving to the lateral side, and it will move to the contralateral side of infection. Let's take an example. If the left side is involved, jaw will move towards right. Okay. So individual may or may not experience pain with this condition. So articular disc displacement now. We have discussed dislocation. I hope you remember that what is articular disc. It is present at temporomandibular joint, which is dividing the joint into two cavities, which is upper cavity and lower cavity, which is on these two cavities mainly our biomechanics takes place. All the movement. Okay. Articular disc displacement condition includes. Please switch off your mic, please. Okay, because others won't be able to hear properly. Okay. Articular disc displacement condition include disc displacement with reduction and disc displacement without reduction. Okay. So what is happening is this can be displayed whether it is reduced or whether it is not reduced. I will discuss what I am trying to say over here. Disc displacement, internal dearrangement may be identified through diagnostic imaging or through physical examination. So joint noise at two intervals during mandibular opening and mandibular closing. So mainly again symptoms are almost same. Joint noise will be heard whenever we are opening and closing a mouth. The joint noise is known as reciprocal click. Okay, this is very important. It could be a 2 marks question as well. What is reciprocal click in temporomandibular joint? So that click is being heard because of articular disc only. Okay. In this situation, the mandibular condyle is in contact with the retrodiscal tissue at the rest rather than with the disc. Okay. So what is happening is whenever the click sound is heard, your mandibular condyle is in contact with the tissue which is present posterior to the disc, you can say that. Okay, rather than completely to the disc. On mouth opening, the condyle slip forward and under the disc to obtain a normal relationship with the disc. When the condyle slips under the disc, an audible click is often present. Okay, so here comes now biomechanics. So when the condyle slips under the disc, an audible click is often present. Okay, so I hope articular disc is clear to everybody. Articular disc placement. All right. I'm going further to degenerative changes now, or degenerative diseases, that is OA and RA. They are also present in this condition, usually occur unilaterally, unlike rheumatoid arthritis, which is bilaterally. See, the main differentiation between OA and RA is OA will be unilateral, can be bilateral, but RA has to be bilateral. There is a symmetrical involvement. Okay. Primary cause of the osteoarthritis is repeated trauma to the joint, particularly trauma that creates impact between the articular surfaces. You know, boxers, because of frequent trauma, these boxers sometimes experience osteoarthritis changes in their old age. Okay. So changes in the TM joint include joint space narrowing. So this is the main thing. There will be a narrowing of the joint space. Erosion, osteophyte formation, sclerosis, remolding are similar to those seen elsewhere in the body. Such kind of features are seen at the knee joint as well. When there is a patient is having osteoarthritis at knee joint, there is a reduction in the joint space. There is development of osteophytes, sclerosis, and remolding takes place at knee as well. So loss of posterior teeth may also contribute to degenerative changes because simple occlusion of the remaining teeth alters the forces that occurs between the TM joint forces. So mainly what is happening is your joint forces are deviated, so that's why all these things is happening. Okay, so let's see this example of temporomandibular joint dislocation. Okay, so you can see in the picture B, you can see in this picture. Okay, this is the normal how the joint is present, and this is happening in case of your temporomandibular joint dislocation. Your condyle has moved forward towards anterior articular eminence. Clear? So how to reduce the mandibles? Now, dislocated mandibles. So basic thing is just pick it up and take it to this position. That is the main thing. This we are doing mandibular manipulation. We are doing. We are reducing these joints in our clinical practice as well. This is clear to you? Okay. So that's all about your temporomandibular joint biomechanics. So we have finished the unit and your syllabus is done today. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me the questions. Hello. Now you can switch on your mics, please. Hello.